Talk with the listing pros in real estate. And today's guest is my favorite in the business, Beth Lowe of Exit
Hi.
Realty Achieve. Hi, Beth. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. I know we're working all in this new era of real estate called COVID-19 real estate. But how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. Good.
Things are starting to pick up out there, so just trying to keep expectations and explaining to buyers how it works and sellers how it works and what we're going to be doing and what we're not going to be doing. It's a whole new world out there right now.
It is certainly a whole new world. So I wanted to ask you first and foremost, this is a listings program, and I know you are a top listing pro in real estate, and I celebrate you today as a listing pro. So the question I have for Beth Lowe is, what is your secret sauce? I'll get right to it.
I think for me, it's just the way I easily build rapport and trust with people. And that has led me to have a very referral based business and also a business where my past clients always call me back to relist their houses. I probably have four listings coming up in the next couple months that will be houses that I've already sold before.
Nice. And were you always a lister, or did you find the niche of being a lister?
I've always liked doing both. I like buyers and I like sellers. And in the beginning, when I first started, it was mostly short sales and having to tell people that their house was worth way less than they thought. And I think it was not until 2014 that I had my first positive listing appointment where I was able to tell them their house was worth more than they thought. So my first 4 years in the business was very negative all the time. Um, but for me, I started out mostly doing short sales because that's where the market was in 2010, 11, 12, 13. So, I kind of went where the market was, and that really was, where the market was. And having to sell a short sale, back in 2011 really helped you have a lot of skills that you could then easily translate into selling, regular listings that are beautiful and pretty and, you know, easy to get into and easy to sell and not,
Was it
over clutter.
easier? Is it easier now, like with the downside of short sales or the less and less inventory of short sales? Do you still do short sales now, or is it
Probably like
like a
one or two a
balance between
year.
the two?
No, nothing like what I used to do. Like definitely just, there's definitely people out there who still need help and I'm always happy to help them, but it's not like it was.
Do you foresee a turnaround in short sales in the near future with all of this that's going on now?
I think it's a difficult question to ask because I think people have more equity in their homes now than
Hmm.
they did in 2010, 11, 12, 13. And people didn't take such crazy loans like, the 0% down, option arms, full
Right.
closing cost, 6% seller's concession, no money out of pocket. We're not really doing that. So, I don't know if we're gonna, unless the market really takes a downturn, which I'm not really seeing at all, just based on the limited stuff that I'm doing now and the crazy amount of buyers that I've gotten in like the last 2 weeks that are ready to buy. So I don't know if we're gonna really see a downturn, but short sales are also individual problems. Like someone could have not been paying their mortgage before this happened. They could have not been in a great place, and then they could have lost their job because of the COVID-19. And now, a bad situation has been exacerbated, and now they need to short sell their house. I don't think it's going to be widespread, but I think, there will be more people that need them, but it's not going to be like it was, where it was like literally every house.
Yeah. And tell me, when you were first doing short sales, did you have an interest in the regular sales, or did people come to you, or did you build up a reputation of selling short sales and then people gravitated to you to list their property who were not of the short sale market?
I think it kind of happens at the same time. Like I mostly was doing short sales because that's just what it was. But then I would do like an amazing job for, somebody around my age who had bought a house in 2000 and, 6 and now was in big trouble. And then they would refer me to their parents who were moving out of state. So it kind of all happened at the same time. And then most of my listing business now is from my early, like first time home buyers. So a lot of them have already purchased second home, like a second home from me. Some of them have moved out of state. Um, I can maybe count on like three fingers the amount of times I didn't resell the house for the people for some various reason beyond my control. But normally my clients, I stay in really good touch with them. I do Buffini, but even before I did Buffini, I kind of did my own version of Buffini. So I try and really stay in touch with my clients. Even the first 5 weeks that I was home, I wrote handwritten note cards to every single person in my database. And, I know we're mostly talking about listings, but somebody I sold a house to 8 years ago had her son call me last week because he's ready to buy a house. So, I mean,
Oh, that's good.
imagine if I didn't stay in touch with her. And by staying
Right.
in touch, it was
And
holiday
Buffini, for those
cards.
of us, for those people who are looking at this program, Buffini is Brian Buffini, and he has Referral Maker. Is that what you're referring to? Referral Maker. And you have these little note cards, and you have flyers, and you stay in touch with your clients. Very important to your contact real estate management systems. Yeah. Good for you. I do the same thing.
Yeah, it's really been, at first I was like, oh, these newsletters, they're a little, I don't know, they're not really me, you know. But then people like, I went like and did like some Popeyes around Christmas and dropping off wrapping paper. And some people were like, oh my God, I love your newsletter. I look forward to getting it. And I'm like, you do? All right, I'll keep sending them, like, so it's just, even if they hate it, they still see your name and your face every month. So,
Yeah.
I've kind of held off sending the newsletters right now, but hopefully in June I can get back to sending them because writing out 150 note cards is actually quite painful on your fingers.
It really is. It
It really
really is. I
hurts.
have arthritis in my
I know. I
hands
was
from
like,
doing the same
I'd have to
thing.
stop and like stretch, and it was not easy. I hope people really appreciate it.
So I already know the secret sauce of your listings is relationships. When you list a home, what kind of technology are you using? Any special technology?
Nothing too far out there, but I've had to learn to adapt recently. So I have a vacant condo. It's been vacant for a very long time, and I've been holding off listing it. So I actually went there yesterday and I made a little video. And then I hit the iMovie button on the phone and I was able to add a title and music. And I was like, oh my God, this looks so professional. And it literally took me 2 minutes. And it was just, instead of just making a video and sending it to someone, which, I did before, now this looks like a real professional video. So I'm always just trying to improve and just go along with what we have to do. I mean, now I think video is super important right now. Do I ever think it's going to replace a real showing? No, I do not. But I think it's important now that we can kind of weed people out a little bit better before they get to a house, because sellers are not going to just want every random person that likes the color of their shutters to come see their house. We want to
Right.
make sure that they really really like the house. So I think doing more video is important. I've done Matterport tours in the past. They worked out well when I've done them. The past couple of years things have been selling so quick, it hasn't really been kind of like I listed, I put it on Facebook, and then, by the weekend, it's an accepted offer. So, I think we're just going to have to keep adapting with the times, and, not everything's going to change rapidly overnight, but we're always going to have to tweak what we're doing to fit with what's going on in the market.
Exactly. And staying relevant for your clients. So how long have you been in the real estate business?
A
I
little
asked you
over,
that before.
a little over 10 years.
10 years. Wow. And you've accomplished so much. For those of you who don't know, Beth and I are really good friends, and I honor this lady here because I know her story. I know her history in real estate. I feel as though I've walked through a lot of the years with you, but I'm going to brag for you. You are you have achieved in exit your franchise the number 2 spot in the nation, or 3?
No, like the
No.
highest I've ever been on the list is like 32, but still,
Oh,
I'll
okay. I
take
was going
it.
for number 3 in the nation. So
No,
no,
no.
but you're up there. You've actually hit the list of high ending producers and listers, and you've really gotten high up on the totem pole of the of exit there, and it's a really nice celebration that I've actually watched you, and you have such a good work ethic. You want to talk about that? What is the day? What does Beth Lowe's day look consist of? In real
I
estate.
usually start out on my phone, just going through my emails and my text messages, and I'm kind of old fashioned in a lot of ways. Like I still, use a notepad. I
Hmm.
still, even still during this crazy time where I'm not really working as much, I'm still using my paper calendar. I always have a to-do list and I kind of work off of that every day. Not really showing houses now, but when I am, I like to do that like in the afternoon and get my office stuff done in the morning, and that way it's done and out of the way. And I'll pull over on the side of the road if I have to and just sit there and answer emails and get things done. I try and be very on top of things. I don't like to let things sit. If I hear, I had an attorney who took a week to get back to somebody about a question, and it just drives me insane. Like, I'd
Right.
rather just answer somebody right away and just make sure that they got the answer that they needed. And that way I don't have to think about it and get distracted by something. Someone else calls me, I have something else to do. So I always just, use a to-do list, use a calendar, use my phone to make myself reminder notes, send myself emails of reminders. But I like to just be out and about all day. So just being home so much is
I
just so
noticed.
weird.
I noticed that. I know, for both of us. But I noticed that there's one thing that you do, which is what I like to do. We both educate people on doing the right thing in our business. I've seen your Facebook posts. Sometimes, we both rant about other
I've been
agents
trying to get
doing
better about
the right
that.
thing. Come on, guys, do the right thing. No, but it's a pretty cool thing to be, because we're just coming from that educational standpoint. We're just trying to get people to do the right thing in our industry, such as properly presenting offers, or how to list them properly, homes properly, right? That leads us to law of agency, and law of agency that we both believe in. That old car acronym, the obedience, the loyalty, disclosure, confidentiality, accountability, reasonable care. We bring that together, and we try to educate other agents out there in the field to make them better. And this program is about old car and agency. Tell me, if you had to pick one of those, which one would you pick?
Probably loyalty. That's, when I do ever go off on a rant, it's usually because someone hurt one of my clients or did something that was really unfair to one of my clients. And I tend to get all mama bear in that situation. So, I mean, I'm a Taurus. I'm a very loyal person from the beginning. So definitely loyalty. Like if you're my client, like I will literally do anything you need me to do for you. Obviously not like commit a crime, but
Exactly.
everything to get you, the house that you want and make sure that you're treated fairly. And I feel bad for the agent who doesn't treat them fairly because I usually do go
What
crazy.
about to your sellers and to
Oh,
the
I mean the
listings that
same. I
you?
mean, I always try and, guide them through, how we're going to do everything and what we're going to say and what we're not going to say and how we're going to answer questions and what questions not to, what questions not to answer. Like to me, the dumbest question out there is, why are you moving? Because really, what am I going to tell you? The house is haunted, and there's a ghost that comes out every night, and that there's a drug dealer living in the attic. Like, what am I going to tell you? Like, to me, it's like the silliest question out there. But I feel like it's almost asked to like trip somebody up because you want to get something on them so you can like use it
Right.
against them. And
I
so
got to
it's
get the
like,
price lower
we got
because
to get,
I
and
know
that's
that
like
answer. I got to get the price lower.
the whole thing where we're now like allowed to connect the buyer and the seller and have them like arrange their own showing is like that's
Terrible.
where my fear comes in because people say dumb stuff and they don't mean to, and they think they're helping each other and they think they're helping themselves, and like really we're hired to keep them out of those situations and to make sure that they get the most money for their house and
Right.
don't do anything that could jeopardize their best interests. And it's like now we've been taken out of that equation, and like even like sending a home inspector to a house, and now, I'm reading a home inspection report that I've never even been in the house, and I'm trying to advise somebody on, like, is this a big deal or is this not a big deal? And I'm like, if I was there, I would know.
Yeah.
So it's like this whole
I won't
adjusting.
send anybody into a house now. I don't care what the law says or what the law gives me permission to do for a buyer. I will not let a buyer go into a house with a seller in there. It's putting the seller in jeopardy of doing the wrong thing. And the seller, sellers, they innocently tell, things because they're proud of their home and
Right.
their
Exactly. That's
history,
exactly my
right?
point.
You
There,
know, you
it's like
know, no
more
way.
pressure.
No way. I
I
won't
don't
do
even
that
like
for
them to be there
anybody.
in general for a showing if it's like
Right.
a good situation.
Well,
So
that's what makes us listing pros, is that we know what's best for our sellers, because when they hire us, they're giving us their loyalty, and we're giving it to them right back. And we're going to protect our sellers with confidentiality, and we're going to keep treating them with reasonable care. I think there's, if I had to pick a favorite out of all of them, right? I know which one I would pick, which I haven't revealed yet to my audience yet, because nobody's interviewed me. But I like the answers I get from our guests here, because they all vary. Everyone has their favorite. And I like loyalty. I think loyalty is a really good one, especially in a COVID-19 environment, in a post-COVID-19 environment. This is what we expect from our clients, don't we? And they expect that from us as well. Tell me, when you list a home, these days, are you using? You said you were using virtual tours, right? Are you doing anything else that's special? Like, I know both of our companies use digital signatures, DocuSigns, and all those types of forms. Can you elaborate on that?
I actually use Instinet mostly for the
Internet,
forms because
okay.
it's our MLS forms and it's just right there and it's super easy. And I find that my clients have an easy time using them. Not every client I have is tech savvy. Not every client I have is under the age of 50. So, I found, I'm trying to just do things that are easy because, yeah, everything. I mean, I had to get a listing digitally signed too, but, there's people out there that can't wait and there's things that are going on and we have to kind of like adjust. And I much prefer to do everything in person and have you sign a bunch of papers because that's what I like. I like paper, but we're just not in that environment right now. And I don't know, what things are going to stay around with, especially for me, once we can go back to normal. I don't know if I'll get used to these things and I'll like them. I've never really been like a huge video person, but I'm getting used to it. I've done a bunch of these call type things where I've been recorded and I'm
You're
getting
doing great.
good.
I think you're doing good. You and I are
I
like,
wear my
we're
black
friends. We're
I
talking to
wear
each
my
other
black
like on a
top.
phone right now, video phone.
I'm just kind of, I'm out of my comfort zone with a lot of these things because I
Oh, I
do
think you're
like
doing
paper.
great. Don't worry about it. And we're laughing, and it's all natural, because it is. Because every time I have a conversation, it's a very natural conversation. But we're here to inspire people, especially people getting into the business. What advice would you give those people, those new licensees coming into the business?
Well, this is quite a time to come in, and I came in late 2009. Also, a time where people were like running out of the business, like the house was on fire. I think people are going to be running out of the business like the house is on fire. I think this is going to really show a lot of people, what their weaknesses are, and there's a lot of agents that really don't run their business like a business. They run it like it's a hobby, and I don't really think that that's not only fair to their clients, it's not fair to the other agents. So I think, now if you're going to come into this business, you treat it as a business. It's not a hobby. You're dealing with people's biggest assets and they're trusting you with them. So, I really think that if you're going to get into this business now, or if you're just started out in this business, you need to be educated. You need to take advantage of all of the training that's out there. And if you're in a company that doesn't really provide you with any training, then look towards, LIBOR and look towards NAR. NAR has like even some free um, designations out there now. I did the pricing strategies. I just started the ePro. I did the certificate of excellence, circle of excellence.
Yeah, yeah.
So while we're home and while we're not really allowed to be out there pounding the pavement as much, this is your time to become more educated and to really, figure out how to run your business like a business and get involved with groups like YPN and, get involved with, what's out there. All the people, I wouldn't get involved in a lot of the real estate groups that are out there, but I would get involved with the professional ones that are out there, especially YPN. NAR has a YPN page. You really need to surround yourself with positive people who want to succeed in this business because there's too many people that are going to tell you the market's going to crash, the whole world's going to come to an end, you're
Chicken
never going
Little,
to
the
get a
sky's
listing, because
falling, the
all of
sky's
that was said
falling.
to me in 2009 and 2010, that I was never going to make it, that I was never going to be able to do it. And I didn't listen to them. And even like the past 2 years, people have been like, the market's going to crash. The market's going to crash tomorrow. That's the end. And like, here we are in this like crazy pandemic situation. And I'm still
Right,
not even seeing the market crash. I'm
right,
still not seeing all these bad things that are supposed to be happening. And I don't know if it's because I tune them out, because it really, at the end of the day, you know, bad things could be going on around you, but you still are going to have a business to run and clients that are depending on you. And I really just think the most important thing is to just get educated. And really, if this is going to be your job, then also prepare. Prepare to stay home for a couple months. Prepare that something might not close when you think it's going to close. And I've always kind of had that mindset where, like, I remember like my first huge month where I made like 20 or $30,000, and another agent in the office is like, "Oh my God, I heard about all the closings you had this month. Where are you going on vacation? How many days are you going to take off?" And I was like, "I'm going to the bank, and then I'm going to show some houses, because this money, like, it's great, but I also keep track of all of my deals, and maybe one closed sooner, one closed later, but this doesn't mean that I'm making $30,000 next month. It means I need to make
right.
sure that I make my money last." And, luckily I've always kept that mindset. And, I think it's going to be even more important going forward that, what if something happens? Like, I had a deal that was supposed to close, and the day before it was supposed to close, they pulled funding on all non-QM loans. So, good thing I wasn't depending on that to pay my mortgage in March, because I wouldn't have had it. I just think we have to be smart. And if you're going to run your business like a business, that means being smart with your money and smart with your expenses. And just because the shopping guy called you and told you that for $4,000 he can put you in every Stop and Shop, doesn't mean that that's a good business decision. Why don't you talk to other people, see if it's a good sound choice? Talk to agents in your office. Has anyone else ever done that? I think we're the most sold to group of professionals out there, and I think that people just don't even think. They think like whoever just called them on the phone from like a random number is going to revolutionize their business because they have some new program. And I will tell you, I barely spend any money, which I know might sound shocking. I spend my money on Buffini. I also pay to be in Jared James's group, which is like $30 a month, so $40 a month, which is like a no-brainer. And then the rest of my expenses are stamps and time. And I don't
Mhm.
even have an assistant anymore.
I
And
smiled when you said about the shopping cart because that's where I ended up going for $6,000 for six
whew,
months. Yeah, it was pretty big and it was expensive. And I kind of like wanted to spy on myself to see who was looking at the shopping cart. And I remember this mother in aisle 3 or something, wherever I was in the shopping in the store, and she had this kid and about maybe 2 or 3 years old. And where was the kid? His buttocks was on my picture of my shopping cart, as in aisle 3, and I'm like, well, that did a lot of good for advertising my name right where the
right,
the,
exactly.
the kid's butt
Or
was
someone
right
puts
in
their
the
purse,
shopping cart.
like it's just, I think we just get so caught up in the moment just because of the type of people that real estate, attracts. But we really need to really be business people if you're going to make it in this business and make it, I think making it for 10 years in this business with a consistent business is huge, and it doesn't really happen very often, and most people are out within the first 2 years. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, I think our numbers a year from now are going to be a lot less than they are, and maybe we have too many. I mean, maybe 28,000 realtors is
Yeah.
too many, you
Now,
know
you are the past president of 28,000 realtors in YPN, Young Professionals Network. You accomplished so much as president. I will continue to give you kudos, Miss Lowe. Um, Could you tell us a little bit? I mean, most of the people that you honored in the top 20 under 40 have been on this program. So I know you've been busy, but I finally got you on this program. I want you to tell us a little bit about YPN and why young professionals should join YPN.
So YPN, I mean, as much as people like to think of it as, the people who drink after work type of thing, we're really out there looking for the new young leaders. So the top 20 under 40 program is really the funnel that drives us to realizing who the new young leaders in the industry are. And then from there, we generally build our board of directors from past winners. And then we start grooming the directors to be leaders. And I can tell you, we have some really exciting people coming up in the next couple of years. So next year we'll probably take a mulligan and we'll redo, and Chris will stay as president and I'll stay as immediate past president. But then, because we haven't really had a chance to really work with, the people we want to work with as much, but I will tell you, we already have like 60 or 70 applications in for the top 20 under 40 awards.
Wow.
We have a bunch of people that we are grooming for the next level of leadership roles. I think the only way to change the industry and change things that you don't like is to get in there and actually do it. And that's what we're doing. And, a lot of us have gone on to other leadership positions. I'm RPAC chair this year, which I hope to also get a redo on for next year because I didn't get to do anything I wanted to do this year. So I just think, that YPN is a great place for new, you don't even have to be young, because I was 42 and I was president of YPN.
And you gave me the Young at Heart Award.
And we gave you the Young at Heart Award. It's for new people. It's for people who are young in the business. It's for people who are young at heart. And it's a good place to connect with people who are new and starting out. And I think if you're new and you're starting out and you're already getting involved with a group like YPN, you're just going to go so much further because you're going to be around like-minded people who also want to be successful and be leaders. And I think that that's a really important place to start, because if you're going to be a successful real estate agent, you're also going to have to be a leader, because your
Could it help me become a good lister? Could it help me become a good realtor, a better realtor?
Of course, absolutely. We always are offering different training classes. And I think it's also important to establish yourself with like a network of other realtors to go to. Like I have Chris, I have Mark, I have Amy. I have people that I could call constantly and bounce ideas off of. And I wouldn't know any of these people. I wouldn't know my best friends if it wasn't for YPN, which is like a crazy.
And also it's a good referral network. Look at all the people that you've met through YPN, and you can refer people to other places in Long Island that you may not want to even cover that territory. You have people
right, and not
there.
just Long Island, but I'm involved with the
Everywhere.
state YPN, and then I've been to national YPN events. So you're constantly meeting the future leaders of the industry, and they're great people to be able to pick their brains and ask them questions and see how things are done in other states and see what they're doing that you're not doing. So it's really a great national organization for you to really learn a lot from.
So we have about 2 minutes left. Any parting words, Miss Beth?
God, stay safe.
You want to give?
Use this time to educate yourself and, get ready to be the best version of yourself and get your business cranking the second that we're allowed to be out there cranking. I want to hit the ground running.
And I'll add that no time or any time is the best time to educate yourself. Even when this crisis is over, you should go out there and also educate yourself with some designations. I have the SRS designation, the SRES designation, 2 designations that I highly recommend for listings. And, listen, I think this was great to have you on this program. You are an inspiration.
Thank you.
If I could give you an award, another award, I know you've had a lot, but if I could give you personally the Joe Sonona Award for being a good leader, a good friend, and in your industry, that's the award I would give to my friend Beth Lowe, because you really mean a lot. And I know you're writing a book.
I'm getting everybody was bringing this up. I probably should have been doing that this whole time.
And I love and I know that's going to be the next interview you do. And I hope you'll come back on Coffee Talk and discuss your book, because I really I think the world really needs to read that as a source of their inspiration. And I know it's going to be a bestseller. I want an autographed copy. Promise?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you so much again for being on the program. I really appreciate it. This is Joe Sonona with Sonona Speaks Seminars, and this is Coffee Talk with the Listing Pros. And my guest this week was Beth Lowe. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in Fridays at 11 o'clock on Facebook. Thank you so much, Beth, again.
Thank you for having me.
Take care.
Bye.